our original trade dress, which looks nice. We're all the boxes are aligned. Chris White first in the huddle. Thank you for your note this morning on LinkedIn. I enjoyed this session myself. We met in person.
I saw the picture. Yeah,
came over to the coffee shop, and it was great. It was great to see him in person. It was great to hang out. And then again, then yesterday we got to see everybody.
Yeah, it was awesome. Huge shout out to American Heart Association. Huge shout out to City Furniture and Styles, which we saw there. It was a great event where we got to see a ton of great people, and I got to do some walking, which was great. Got a 3-mile walk in, and even Lou made the walk with us, which was really cool. And it was a great time. Awesome stuff.
So let's shout out all the people in this. So up top, you got Andy and Lena.
Right? Yeah, you got Andy and Lena, and then his brother Tim and his girlfriend Lisa, which were our walking partners for the majority of the walk, which was really, really great. And then obviously you've got Jeremy Turris down in the middle with his Huddle t-shirt over his backpack, which I thought was super creative. You want to give some more shout outs?
Do you see Dave Stavali? Did you mention that? I don't know. I didn't know if you
I walked a ton with Dave and Lisa. We had a great conversation. We were talking about Florida. We were talking about having to travel with kids. Just a ton of really good conversations with Dave. And I know they're traveling back this morning, so they're probably not on the huddle, but it was great to see them and just a great conversation.
So you got Kim Swears is there. You got Joni Knight and the whole Styles crew, Devin Newton, Randy Newton, who kind of lives in the Styles and City world.
Yeah.
And then there's this big guy that we got to hang out with who was the grand chairman, and that was Lonzo Morning, which was really fun.
Very cool. It was a great time. It was a great morning. It was a great event. It was quick. It wasn't like they held everybody up. There was tons of, there was coffee and stuff for people. So it was great to see people hear a great message and then just walk around with everybody on a crisp Sunday morning.
Dude, it was cold. Forget about crisp, man. It was, like Stavali was great. He goes, you go home, it's 25 degrees for him.
Right.
But it's 55 degrees and everybody's saying it's cold. But
yeah, it was not cold for him. He was in shorts and a t-shirt. He
showed up in shorts. Jake showed up in shorts. I mean, totally crazy,
But it was a great time. And super, another shout out to everybody in the huddle who helped us raise the dollars. We, although we weren't recognized by American Heart, we were definitely the second largest fundraiser behind City Furniture. So great job, guys. Absolutely phenomenal performance. And then maybe next year, everybody will actually join us at the walk because we'd love to have more people walking with us.
So I think we'll work to make that happen. We'll actually have a hospitality tent next year. I think I learned more about the event. But in the vein of the huddle being everywhere, I got a note from Brian Moskowitz on Saturday. Brian's son went to Universal Studios. He decided to wear his Huddle shirt. He took Brian's Huddle shirt.
Yep. And
while he's walking there, somebody walks up to him and says, "Hey, I watched that show too." We're everywhere, baby.
You never know. You just never know where the Daily Huddle is going to show up in your life. It's phenomenal stuff.
You never, ever know. Let's get to some Monday morning wake-up music. March is a crazy month. We have 5 Mondays, I think.
It's a lot. It's a long one of the it's like that. It's like January. 5 weeks.
Let's go.
Wake up, everybody! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Wake up! Come on! Come on! Wake up, everybody! Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say.
So we got a lot of current events. You had something to say?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate Lori saying like, "Sorry, I couldn't be there," but like you don't do enough for the community, Lori. Like, I appreciate you saying sorry. We would have loved to have you there, but I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you took some time for yourself.
Well, that's a good opportunity to share that Lori will be sitting in the co-host seat tomorrow. So always a great time when Lori Salarillo joins us. It is, this whole month we're celebrating women. So fantastic. Jake will be in Colorado. You will be picking up the Prince. And so
Prince Kai will be landing at 7:30. So we're excited for that.
So Lori gets to sit in and we're kicking around some topics. If there's something that you guys want Lori and I to talk about, make sure to reach out to me today. But, March is a cool month. We have March Madness. Basketball's going crazy.
Brackets are up.
Brackets are up. We'll be picking our teams and doing our stuff. But Jim Nantz, who is really one of the greatest broadcasters of all time, everybody's prone to making a boo-boo, and he made a doozy yesterday. So show me.
To set a game of runs. Indiana hot to start. Then the Hawkeyes started that dead-eye shooting of theirs.
So he's talking about runs, and then he talks about sharded. Like, seriously, man? Like, come on, dude.
Speaking of March and Jim Nantz, though, if you are not watching the Players Championship in Jacksonville, it's craziness what's happening because they got delayed with the weather. But yesterday was a phenomenal day of golf. You watch guys play around and then turn around and tee off again and get after it. And it was exciting golf. People were scoring, a lot of birdies going on. It was a fun tournament to be watching, and they finished today.
So, as you mentioned, Lori does a lot for the community. She was involved in a charity event this weekend, and she got to basically be in a Shark Tank environment with Udonis Haslem. So she's got pictures and all kinds of stories to share tomorrow. So don't miss out. One final thing, and it's sort of like, really, we sort of knew this anyway. Tom Brady unretired.
Unbelievable. I can believe it, but it sparks an interesting conversation, I think, because like everybody's like, oh, well, why did he leave in the first place if he wasn't sure? Look, the guy made a decision. Guy said, I have doubts about whether or not I'm willing to commit. Because I have doubts, I'm going to pull the trigger and go ahead and retire. And then he got 8 weeks worth of retirement, was like, no, I can't do this. I gotta get back to it. I got to get back to competing. So good for him.
There were people who were dead set on him going to San Francisco. I guess he put that to bed.
Yeah, I mean, he says he's coming back to Tampa Bay for his 23rd year. They have the rights to him. They could trade him or something like that, but I don't know why they would. But I just think it's good for him for making decisions and not being afraid to change his mind. And, you never know what happens. He's one of the best to ever do it. Like, guy wants to compete, he can compete.
So just to show that we are equal opportunity here, United Way has a women's event tomorrow night rather. Eat, Live, Save.
Wednesday night, right?
Tomorrow night.
Oh, tomorrow night. Got it.
Tomorrow night, Tuesday at the Galleria Mall, which is incredibly geographically desirable to me because
you walk there.
So I'm going, baby.
Awesome.
So we will be there. Reach out to Chris and get new information that you want there. But so it was daylight savings time Saturday night. I don't get the whole thing. Like you and I talk all the time. For me, I've trained myself. People go, wow, you wake up at 3 a.m. When do you go to bed? And I tell them, I go to bed when I'm tired. I drink when I'm thirsty. I eat when I'm hungry. I love working in the business world. And I hear, oh, it's 12 o'clock on Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. It's like, if that's where your focus is, you want to know why you're not hitting your numbers, Yeah. So I don't look to eat. I don't look to drink. I don't look to sleep. But apparently people get really bonkers because of the change in that.
You mean you lose an hour. The reality.
That's the crock of shit of this whole thing. No, you don't. You didn't lose anything. You still have the same amount of time. That is my argument.
But that night of sleep, you actually do lose an hour. Like,
you do not lose an hour. Excuse me. Okay. You're gonna go all day on here. Hold on. You don't lose anything. You didn't lose an hour. You still had 24 hours in a day. They physically adjusted what it says, but you can still sleep 8 hours. Doesn't matter.
Sure, of course you could.
So you didn't lose anything.
The clock went from 1:59 to 3.
If you pay attention,
2 a.m. Like, so you didn't actually lose an hour. Like, in that one night, there was an hour missing. But my point is
there was not an hour missing.
What the hell's going on out here?
There was not an hour missing. That's my point.
I don't know how you claim that. Like, it is legitimately.
Dude, you didn't have 23 hours. You had 24 hours. This is my point, is that if you manage yourself based on your internal clock, whatever it says on the clock doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So, we have somebody new, Royce Bristol, who is an instant genius. Royce, you are my man.
I love it. All
right. So because it is Daylight Savings Day, each year, National Napping Day recognizes our need the day following the return of Daylight Savings Time as a time to take naps. Okay. So here's where it gets really, really fun. I believe in naps. I mean, when Shay and I first started to work together and we would drive somewhere, he would drive, I would get in the car, he'd be talking to me, I was out. He thought I was dead.
Yeah.
So
you're like narcoleptic.
So I have trained myself to take 15-minute naps during the day because to me, and I've used this in my coaching, it's like a pit stop. The cars are racing around. Boom, you do a pit stop, you fill it with the gas, you wash the windows, change the tires, and then you go. So I love this, but it is scientifically proven that a 15-minute nap does work for you.
If you need it. You might not necessarily need a nap. So this goes into sleep. This goes into the sleep conversation.
We will get into sleep, I promise you.
I know. I'm just saying high performance, right? High performance is not just the mindset. It's also nutrition. It's how you take care of your body. So that includes sleep and working out. There's all of the physical aspects of taking care of your body that go into high performance. So if you are not getting the prescribed amount of sleep for your body, not what some guru told you about getting 8.5 hours of sleep or getting 7 hours of sleep. If you are not getting enough sleep to where you feel energized through the day and you need a pick-me-up, there's nothing better than elevating your feet, putting your head down and closing your eyes for 15 minutes and getting a 15-minute rejuvenation because it brings you back to life. It gives you the energy you need.
So there is that argument about what is the right amount of sleep. People say, well, wow, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's crazy. 3 o'clock works for me. Like from 3 to 5, I have programmed myself, then this is conditioning. This is, doing it over a period. I didn't just wake up at 3. What time do you wake up in the morning?
I get up at 4:30. The alarm goes off at 4:30. But for me, it's an alarm. Like, I'm not automatically waking up like that naturally because I'm at my best. I'm going to bed at 9:30 at my best. There's just other things happening. There's other, I'm hanging out with Gabby. We're reading. We're watching shows. The nighttime is our time together. So I'm not sleeping at 9 o'clock most nights like you are, which makes getting up at 3:30 a little bit more attainable. Because for me, I'm fine with 6.5 hours of sleep. I don't feel tired if I'm functioning off 6.5 hours. Now, I could get 7.5 naturally, but I don't care what time I go to sleep. I'm not sleeping more than 7.5 hours. My body wakes up and is like, it's time to go, which means I've gotten enough rest for me, not for somebody else.
Right. So when I go to bed because I'm tired. I don't look at the clock and go, oh, it's 9 o'clock. I just get tired, you know? So, you know, all of this conditioning, the stuff I do, I have worked on, you know, the mental conditioning of taking my body and maximizing it. So you agree 6.5 hours. You listen to some experts, they say 9 hours, 9 hours of sleep, and I'm like dead.
Well, so it's
I'm
interesting.
overtired.
So I wear this thing. I wear this thing called a Whoop, right? And it gives me all kinds of data based on the strain that gets put on my body throughout the day, because it measures my heart rate all day long, and then how my body reacts to my recovery. It measures how much sleep I get. Shay, pop up the picture. So this is my breakdown of sleep from last night. I got 5 hours of sleep, right? I wasn't in my deep sleep zone until 11:45, and I woke up at 5, right? Technically 4:30, but I snoozed it for 15 minutes and laid there. So I only got 4 hours and 54 minutes of sleep. It counts me as in bed for 5 hours and 16 minutes. That's going to tell me I'm at like 4 hours of a sleep debt, because it's calculating for me based on my workout that I did this morning and what I did through the weekend, that I need somewhere around 9 hours of sleep a night. Now, I know that that's wrong, because I don't care what I do the night before. Shay, you can pull it down. I don't care what I do the night before. I'm not getting that 9 hours of sleep. Never. Even if I went to bed at 10 o'clock and slept straight through, my body's going to wake me up at 7.5 and be like, you're done, dude. You're ready to go. Go get after it. So I'm not listening to the app telling me I need 9 hours, but it is registering for me. I registered a 54% recovery last night. I know I didn't get enough hours of sleep, and I know that I ate like shit yesterday, so it affected the way my body recovered. But that data gives me what I need in order to make decisions to make sure that I'm performing at the best that I can.
So a couple of shout outs here. Kevin Split, great seeing you yesterday. Congratulations on you personally raising almost $5,000. Awesome job. And you used video and social media to do it. Kudos, my man. Way to go. And then David Aarons, and this is really important. I'm really enjoying working with David. 4 a.m., 365. So like people say, well, on the weekends, do you sleep in? No. Why would I break the habit? So I got to redo it on Monday. Crazy, crazy stuff. But
that's going to take us to another part of the sleep conversation, which is your sleep routine. When you go to bed, what you do to get ready for bed. So this is a great conversation.
Okay, so napping provides improved alertness, decrease in stress, improved mood. But I got music that proves all of this. Let's go.
Say your prayers and go on. Don't forget my son to include everyone. I tuck you in all within, keep you free from sin till the Sandman he comes. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light and tonight. Take my hand, off to never land.
Awesome. So
Gotta love that.
This whole routine thing, which you talked on, is so significant. So I think it doesn't matter when you wake up. I think it matters when you go to bed, because what happens is people make bad decisions later on in night. You eat some funky food, you eat some,
How you sleep is directly related to the routine that you put together before you go to bed, to the environment that you sleep in, to what you put into your body a few hours before you go to bed. You don't have to not eat before you go to sleep. I'm a big fan of putting something in my belly before I go to bed. But what it is it's got to be something that's slow digesting. It's got to be a casein protein. It's got to be, some type of dairy that's slow digesting, because if you don't, then it's going to create a spike in insulin. It's going to give you a burst of energy. It's going to make it harder for you to stay in your REM sleep. It's going to make it harder for you to get the rest you need, because your body is thinking, well, you just fed me energy. Let's go.
So when I have this discussion, most of the successful people I know wake up early. Most of the successful people I know go to bed early.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, who I love his routine, I love following him, everything he does. He is the earliest bird because he goes to bed at 7:30 or 8 o'clock every night and wakes up at 2:30 for prayer, breakfast, and something called cryo chamber. And that's his thing.
He gets in the cold tank.
Yeah. I mean, so when you look at guys like that, Richard Branson, 5 hours of sleep at night, success leaves clues. But Shay, could you do me a favor? Give me some overtime.
And we'll go to overtime.
So we didn't lose any time in the huddle, man. We're still here.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Oh, God. So with sleep, though, there is this thing that happens to some people. I am one of them. I snore.
Yes, loudly.
So,
Disruptively. We talk about disruption in business. You are a disruptive snorer. Is what you are.
there was a new study of 2,000 people revealed that the worst snorers come from New York, Washington, D.C., and Connecticut.
Why?
So,
something about the water? Like,
so there's all different kinds of noises. And this, first of all, tell them the Cincinnati story.
So this is my favorite story ever. We traveled together to go on business. We end up in the same room.
By the way, that was the flight where we met David.
Yes, that is the flight that we met David. Correct. He was sat behind us on the plane.
Right.
But so we get there. Look, I've lived with my dad for a long time. I know he snores. No big deal. I didn't realize that it was a progressive disease. I didn't realize that it got worse the older that you get. We go, he passes out in 3 seconds. I do my bedtime routine, get ready for bed. We get in, and Jake's in the room with us. We're all staying in the same room. And I'm like, is he going to be that loud all night? And he was like, oh, yeah, it's not stopping. I was like, okay, fine. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some sleep noise. I'm going to get some white noise on my phone, and I'm going to put it on my phone. I'm going to put it right next to my head so that it drowns out the snoring. I wake up in the middle of the night, and he is louder than the white noise in my ear. I can't even sleep because he's disrupting the white noise that was happening. It's offensive is what it is. It's really, the sound is so loud, and it's just impossible to sleep with.
There is a very special woman that is watching the huddle this morning that is absolutely completely.
And you know what? It's almost like something that needs to be like studied by science, because how you're able to sleep through it and how it doesn't wake you up, I have no idea.
So I don't snore all the time. I don't. That I can tell you. But here's the thing. They identified the top 10 common sounds that people have reported about snoring. Okay, you ready? So there is a growl, there's a saw, there's a roar, Alvin roar, there's a train, there's a Darth Vader, there's thunder, bumblebee, jackhammer, and drills.
I would say you're the combination of like the saw, the growl, the Darth Vader, and the thunder. Like it like goes in a wave for you.
So here's the thing. No matter when you go to sleep, take care of your body, do the right things.
Get a bedtime routine. It'll help you sleep.
Right. Kevin Splitt, actually, who is with Citi, he brings up a great point, and this is a good way to close it. The two biggest issues is sleeping hot, which forget about it. If it's hot,
Gotta get the thermostat down. Got to get the fan on. You got to make sure that it's a cold and dark place where you sleep.
So, and then snoring, which does wake you up, but not to give Citi a plug, but to give Citi a plug. If you buy the right mattress, they got all kinds of stuff, and they donate money to charity when you go in there just to try a mattress. So that was an unexpected plug, but Kevin, thanks for being here. That's your program. kudos to you, man. Nice job. Any closing comments there, my son, about sleep, about daylight savings time, about anything, March Madness? What do you got?
No, I think it's important. I think sleep's really important. Kevin Split says, it sounds like you might need a sleep apnea device. I promise you there's nothing that can save that man from snoring. Have a fantastic Monday.
With a fucking contraption on my face.
I'll miss you guys. Tomorrow I'll be picking up Kai, but excited to watch Lori in the show. I'll be watching from the phone.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this.